This first trimester has been killer on my stomach, and I found that I get really full quickly when I eat a big meal, but I tend to stay hungry in between meals. So this week I'm doing a meal prep challenge with the goal of creating multiple small meals to grab throughout the day. This is just one way that you can adjust your environment, in this case, my food, to support your health goals. If you're interested in hearing more about holistic and clutter-free spaces, then be sure to click subscribe and turn on those notifications. A portion of this video was sponsored by Fabulous, and I'll share more about them later. Okay, so I'm about to get started on day one of this meal prep situation. Today I'm going to be focusing on breakfast foods. So I'm going to make breakfast burritos. I'm going to have some bacon, bell peppers, eggs. Some of them are going to have potatoes. So I was able to find an Instant Pot breakfast potato recipe by Karen Peterson, who blogs at 365 Days of Instant Pot and Crock Pot. So I'll share her information for the potatoes. And then I'm also going to be making some berry banana oat waffles, which look really good and healthy. We'll see how they turn out. I do have a waffle maker at least, so that should help. This one is by bucketlistummy.com, so I will share that one as well. Now the recipe for these potatoes did actually call for russet, but I only had Yukon Gold, so hopefully they will turn out the same. Now these waffles are actually promoted as lactation waffles because apparently they have something called galactagogues, which is a new word that I just heard of, I'm going to be honest. But apparently it's supposed to be an oat waffle that yields high protein and makes for good breastfeeding snacks. So I really do like that it's filled with oats. It's not like a normal waffle at all. It's filled with rolled oats, flour, yeast, baking powder, cinnamon, salt. It has ground flaxseed, coconut sugar, and a little bit of maple syrup, milk, eggs, coconut oil, vanilla extract, and then mixed berries and sliced bananas. So it's got a lot of really good ingredients in there. Of course, it does have the syrup and the flour, so not everything is great, but they did end up tasting delicious. And I feel like I can overlook that, you know, the syrup in exchange for the oats, right? I've never actually had waffles that had oats in them before these, and they tasted really good. Potatoes were incredibly easy to make. I only had to cook them in the Instant Pot for 2 minutes and then just season them with garlic powder, onion powder, black pepper, cayenne pepper, and a little bit of salt and paprika and butter. So I love that this is something that I could just make on a whim over and over again because I do really love potatoes. So I ended up being able to make quite a few breakfast burritos with all of these supplies. I got a full bag of the waffles that you saw, and then I also had a couple of meal prep containers left for potatoes. This portion of the video is sponsored by Fabulous, the #1 self-care app to help you build better habits and achieve your goals. Fabulous is a science-backed habit-building app that helps you to rewire your brain and adopt a better lifestyle through positive reinforcement and tiny buildable habits. With over 30 million users worldwide, it's based on behavioral science and breaks down scientifically proven healthy habits into small tasks so that you can easily achieve them every day. And it's also a highly rewarding app with beautiful story built in. The Fabulous app was built at Duke University and is a digital coach, offering 3-minute coaching sessions created by psychology experts, as well as an archive of topic-specific coaching sessions, which are some of my favorite. You can use the Fabulous app to track selected habits, choosing from more than 100 recommended habits or creating your own, or you can choose a dedicated journey and immerse yourself in your own personal adventure over several weeks with tasks broken down for you and added to your daily routine. That's what I did when I signed up for this meal prep challenge. I received gentle reminders, coaching, and meal prep ideas, and motivation to support my daily tasks. The first 100 people to click the link in the description will get 25% off of a Fabulous subscription. With Fabulous Premium, you can access an unlimited number of habits, journeys, and coaching. Okay, so I am back for day 2. Today I'm going to be cooking a really delicious looking recipe for lentil curry. This one is by theendlessmeal.com. I'll be sure to link them down in the description and let you know how the recipe turns out. I'm making a couple of batches of rice, so I'm actually going to try to do the lentil curry and then also make burrito bowls at the same time. So if I can get the chicken and the curry cooking at the same time, then I'll be able to knock out 2 meals. So hopefully that'll work out. The recipe that I'm going to be using for the chicken bowls is primarily from Basil and Brie, somebody that I found on Pinterest. I'll be sure to add that information, and of course you can watch me make the recipe. I made some regular rice for Matt because he doesn't like cilantro, but for all of the rest of the rice that I'm using for the burrito bowls and for the lentil curry is going to have a little bit of cilantro in it because I really like that from Chipotle, so I'm trying to replicate a little bit of that. I did eat some of the meals that I made yesterday. So this morning I did pull out some of the waffles. I had half a waffle this morning, and then for around snack time I had one of the just potato bowls that I put in one of the meal prep kits, which was delicious. So hopefully this will turn out just as good as that did. This lentil curry ended up being a delicious recipe and really healthy also. And the ingredients are not bad. They're not too much. We've got coconut oil to start, the cumin seeds, coriander seeds, garlic. It did call for 2 cans of crushed tomatoes, and I started off with only 1, so I had to send Matt to go to the store. Somewhere in the middle of this, you'll notice later on that I add another can of tomatoes, and then just, seasoning. So we've got turmeric, ginger, sea salt, the lentils themselves, of course, cayenne pepper, and then 3 cups of water. I'm sure you've noticed throughout this process, but these caraway pans are awesome. Everything just wipes right off of them, like slides right off, which is really cool. So I'm trying my best to make sure that I'm maintaining them and taking care of them. I do have a discount code down in the description. They're not sponsoring today's video or anything, but you can get 10% off. So if you're interested in getting some of your own pans, you can find the link for that down in the description. The last thing that this curry calls for is coconut milk, so that's what I'm mixing in here as the last little step before we serve it. Today is the last day of my meal prep challenge. So far, I've eaten 3 waffles, 1 burrito, a breakfast burrito. I've had a chicken bowl, and my daughter also had one of the burrito bowls, the chicken bowls. The curry for dinner one night. Today I'm going to be making some smashed potatoes, not to be confused with mashed potatoes, cooked in the Instant Pot until they get semi-soft, and then I'm going to smash them and then broil them in the oven. I don't know exactly what the temperatures and times are going to be yet. I will find that out. I'm going to have some Brussels sprouts, so it's not just going to be potatoes. And then I'm also going to make a grab-and-go snack, which is going to be cucumber, feta cheese, and Kalamata olives and some kind of an oil mixture. Those types of things I really love. I usually get in the mood, especially when I'm pregnant, but really all the time. I get in the mood for sour things, so things like pickles and olives and all of that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. My daughter makes some really good smashed potatoes, and so I tried to find some that look like what she makes because she's not here right now to tell me. So the recipe that I'm using for those is by Eat Well 101. I'll be sure to show a little picture of what that looks like and leave the link to their recipe. This potato mashing or smashing fiasco was a little bit of a disaster. I tried so many different tools. I found out later on that my daughter usually uses the bottom of a cup, which is one thing that I did not try, but this was a huge mess. They definitely did not turn out looking the way that they're supposed to. They kind of went everywhere. Luckily, they still tasted good. You can't really go too wrong with potatoes, but yeah, it was an experience, and I would definitely do it a little bit differently next time. So that's a wrap on my meal prep challenge. I ended up getting about 7 days worth of food into 3 due to doubling and even tripling up on the meal prep. Let me know down in the comments, what are some of your favorite meals to meal prep? I will chat with you guys next week.